everybody. How are you? Today we're going to work once more on part 5 of our story about Yang. In the last lesson, we learned how to talk about time. Do you still remember how to do it?
今何時ですか？
今5時半です。
おやすみなさい。今何時ですか
8時半です。
？8時半。8時半。
I hope that helped you remember how to ask the time and tell time. In replying to 今何時ですか, we've learned how to reply 時です and 時半です and 10分です, haven't we? After learning to tell time, we also learned how to say that someone does something as a matter of habit. Let's review this by watching some scenes from the skit.
加藤さんの奥さんは毎朝6時に起きます。加藤さんの奥さんは毎朝6時に起きます。太郎さんはいつも8時半ごろ出かけます。太郎さんはいつも8時半ごろ出かけます。
Remember now how to say that a person customarily does something? Then let's ask Sugihara-san and Mine-san what time they get up and go to bed every day. It's easy to ask this. You already know the pattern 3は時に起きます. To change this to a question, just change 時に to 何時に and add か at the end. Also, note that here it's better to use their names instead of a word for you. All right, let's try asking Sugihara-san what time she gets up. First, repeat after Kaiho-san.
杉原さんは何時に起きますか？杉原さんは何時に起きますか？
私は6時半ごろ起きます。
You understood the answer, didn't you? She gets up about 6:30. Now, let's ask Mine-san the same question. This time, you ask first without waiting for Kaiho-san's help. Go ahead.
ミネさんは何時に起きますか？
私は9時ごろ起きます。
He says he gets up about 9 o'clock, so he's a pretty late riser. Maybe it's because he goes to bed late at night. Let's ask him what time he goes to bed. You can do it by yourself now, so go ahead.
ミネさんは何時に寝ますか？
私は1時ごろ寝ます。
Just as I thought, he stays up fairly late. Now, how about Sugihara-san? Ask her what time she goes to bed.
杉原さんは何時に寝ますか？
私は11時ごろ寝ます。
She goes to bed at a reasonably early hour, doesn't she? How about you? What time do you go to bed? In Japanese? And what time do you get up? Well, let's end our review here and go on to today's lesson. But before we get into our first point for today, let's stop and see how it was used in the skit.
さてそれでは全国の朝の表情をリレーで見ていただきたいと思います。まずは青森のぶさんでございます。のぶさん。
おはよう。お父さん今何時？
今7時だよ。
遅れる。早く。ちょっと。
加藤さんの家ではいつも7時ごろ朝ごはんを食べます。
気をつけて持っていってよ。はい。
いただきます。
みどりさんは毎朝牛乳を飲みます。加藤さんは牛乳は飲みません。紅茶を飲みます。加藤さんは牛乳は飲みません。紅茶を飲みます。
Did you catch some familiar words and phrases there? There are two new words. Gyunyu means milk and kocha means tea. And so this whole thing means Mr. Kato doesn't drink milk, he drinks tea. The new point we want you to learn here is that the negative form of nomimasu is nomimasen. What part is different? It'll be easier to see if we enlarge it a little. See? All we've done is change masu to masen. That looks easy enough, doesn't it? Let's examine some of the other verbs we've learned and see how to make them negative.
起きます。
起きません。
食べます。
食べません。
出かけます。
出かけません。
寝ます。
寝ません。
As you can see, the negative of all the verbs here is formed simply by changing the masu ending to masen. This negative form is very frequently used, so fix it firmly in your mind.
どうぞ。
ありがとう。
いらっしゃいませ。
タバコいかがですか？
私タバコは吸いません。
ビールいかがですか？
いいえ、私ビールは飲みません。
これ読みますか？
私漫画は読みません。この犬は野菜は食べません。
Sugihara-san used wa masen about a lot of things. Did you understand what she meant?
タバコは吸いません。
This means I don't smoke.
ビールは飲みません。
This means I don't drink beer.
漫画は読みません。
This means I don't read comic books.
野菜は食べません。
This means this dog doesn't eat vegetables.
こい猫犬
Now, let's get back to our skit and see how the members of the Kato family get around.
みどりさんは自転車で学校へ行きます。みどりさんは自転車で学校へ行きます。
This means Midori goes to school by bicycle.
太郎さんはバスで大学へ行きます。太郎さんはバスで大学へ行きます。
This means Taro goes to the university by bus. Here we have the sentence wa de e ikimasu. With ikimasu, de indicates how a person goes somewhere. It indicates means or method. Actually, we've already seen de used this way. Do you remember how to say with a pencil, as in, may I write this with a pencil? That's right, empitsu de. This de is used to show means. Let's have Mine-san say our two new sentences for us.
みどりさんは自転車で学校へ行きます。みどりさんは自転車で学校へ行きます。太郎さんはバスで大学へ行きます。太郎さんはバスで大学へ行きます。
Now, what about e? It is used to tell their destinations.
学校へ、
To school,
大学へ、
to the university. And do you remember these sentences?
右へ曲がってください。左へ曲がってください。
In them, e functions to indicate direction, doesn't it? The e in today's sentences is the same, although today it shows destination rather than direction. Now, let's watch another part of our skit and find the point that we're going to study next.
加藤さんの奥さんは毎日うちで働きます。台所の仕事もします。部屋の掃除もします。洗濯もします。加藤さんの奥さんは毎日うちで働きます。台所の仕事もします。部屋の掃除もします。洗濯もします。
Here we learned about the work that Mrs. Kato does every day. There were several new words, so I'll explain them first.
加藤さんの奥さんは毎日うちで働きます。うちで、うちで。
This means at home. Here, de doesn't indicate means or method, but place. It's the same as the de in そこで止めてください。
加藤さんの奥さんは毎日うちで働きます。働きます。働きます。
This means work. The first sentence, therefore, means Mrs. Kato works at home every day.
台所の仕事もします。
In the second sentence, 台所の仕事 means kitchen work, and します means do.
部屋の掃除もします。
In sentence 3, 部屋の掃除 means cleaning the rooms.
洗濯もします。
In the last sentence, 洗濯 means laundry or the washing. What I'd like you to pay attention to first is how も is used in sentences 2, 3, and 4. This も is the same as the one in それも私の荷物です. There, it indicated that a certain piece of baggage also belonged to the speaker. Here, it's used to tell that Mrs. Kato does not only this, but also this, and something else as well, as she works at home. It's used in telling about additional things. If you want to mention only one thing that she does, you should say,
台所の仕事をします。
or,
部屋の掃除をします。
or.
洗濯をします。
In other words, for only one kind of work, you would use をします instead of もします. Let's have Mine-san repeat the sentences from the skit for us once more.
加藤さんの奥さんは毎日うちで働きます。台所の仕事もします。部屋の掃除もします。洗濯もします。
I hope it's clear why も was used. Something else to note is that the words 加藤さんの奥さんは appear only in sentence 1 and are omitted completely from sentences 2, 3, and 4. This omission occurs because it is understood who is being talked about. No word like she would be natural either. This sort of omission is very common in Japanese, so try and get used to it. Next, Let's look at some writing.
は、ひ、ふ、へ、ほ。
Today we're going to practice the writing and pronunciation of these 5 syllables.
は、は、は、はい、箱、八、ひ、ひ、ひ。
This syllable sounds very similar to the English word he, but the Japanese sound is more clipped and is produced with more friction.
人、朝日。ふ、ふ、ふ。
To produce this sound, bring your upper and lower lips close together and let your breath pass through the narrow opening between them. Be careful not to tense your lips or round them or stick them out. Try to keep the opening between your lips level and flat as you pronounce this sound.
服、二つ。
The sound in fu differs from both an English H and an English F. Be particularly careful not to let your upper teeth touch your lower lip as in the English sound f.
へ、へ、へ。部屋、下手。ほ、ほ、ほ。本、日本。
We've come pretty far in our presentation of hiragana letters, and there aren't too many more to go. Are you working on them regularly? At this point, let's watch part 5 of our skit about Yang once more from beginning to end.
ここは加藤さんの家です。加藤さんの奥さんは毎朝6時に起きます。加藤さんは毎朝6時半に起きます。加藤さんは朝新聞を読みます。
おはようございます。おはようございます。さてそれでは全国の朝の表情リレーで見ていただきたいと思います。まずは青森のぶさんでございます。のぶさん。おはようございます。おはようございます。先ほどまで。
おはよう。お父さん今何時？
今7時だよ。
遅れる。早く。ちょっと。
加藤さんの家ではいつも7時頃朝ごはんを食べます。
気をつけて持っていって。はい。いただきます。
みどりさんは毎朝牛乳を飲みます。加藤さんは牛乳は飲みません。紅茶を飲みます。
緑、太郎は？
みどりさんは自転車で学校へ行きます。
おはようございます。
太郎、7時半ですよ。お父さん急いでください。何よ太郎、この頭。
加藤さんはいつも8時15分前に出かけます。加藤さんは毎朝電車で会社へ行きます。太郎さんはいつも8時半ごろ出かけます。太郎さんはバスで大学へ行きます。加藤さんの奥さんは毎日家で働きます。台所の仕事もします。部屋の掃除もします。洗濯もします。時々テレビを見ます。
お電話もくださらないで、ゆうべどうなさったんですか？お母さん交通事故にでもあったんじゃないかってそうおっしゃってたくらいなんですよ。
はい、いらっしゃいませ。
午後、加藤さんの奥さんは買い物をします。
すみません、お願いします。
みどりさんの学校はいつも4時に終わります。
あら、お母さん、村みどり。ただいま。
おかえり。
みどりさんは時々台所の仕事を手伝います。
ただいま。
おかえりなさい。
おかえりなさい。
ただいま。
太郎さんはいつも夕方帰ってきます。
お、天ぷらか。
ヤンさんは時々加藤さんの家へ来ます。
おかえりなさい。
加藤さんはいつも8時頃帰ってきます。
どうぞごゆっくり。
ああ、これ、こうやって。ああ、それで、そうそうそうそう。
あ、今何時ですか？
今は10時20分。
え、10時20分。今日はどうもありがとうございました。
じゃあ気をつけて。
どうも。それじゃあ、
おやすみなさい。
また来てね。
おやすみなさい。
バイバイ。
おやすみなさい。
加藤さんの家族はいつも11時頃寝ます。
In the skit, we saw many examples of masu being used to tell about habitual action. The ending masu doesn't always indicate a habitual action, though. Let's watch this next scene.
おやすみなさい。
It's only 9 o'clock, but Kaiho-san is already going to bed.
私は明日の朝5時に起きます。私は明日の朝5時に起きます。
He says he's going to get up at 5 tomorrow. Whatever for, I wonder?
明日山へ行きます。明
明日山へ行きます。
We've already learned that okimasu and ikimasu can be used to tell about habitual actions. But here, Kaiho-san used them in combination with the word ashita, which means tomorrow.
私は明日の朝5時に起きます。
His first sentence means, I'm going to get up at 5 tomorrow. So he's telling what he intends to do. Even though this sentence ends in masu, though, it certainly doesn't express a habitual action. Do you think Kaiho-san gets up at 5 every morning?
明日山へ行きます。
And in the next sentence, he uses ikimasu to speak about the future too. I'm going to the mountains tomorrow. An important point to note here is that Kaiho-san is speaking about himself and what he's going to do. Remember then that when a person speaks about himself with the verb form masu, he's often expressing his intentions about the future.
では始めます。今日は好きなものを折ってください。
はーい。
海宝さんは何を折りますか？
私は鶴を折ります。
杉原さんは？
私は風船を折ります。
ではどうぞ始めてください。
これは風船です。
これは鶴です。
はい、よーくできました。では終わります。
Follow that? Origami, or paper folding, is so popular in Japan that almost everyone knows how to make several objects. In this scene, did you notice that masu was used by the speakers to express their own intentions or to tell what they were about to do?
では始めます。
The first sentence means, I will begin the class.
海宝さんは何を折りますか？
The second sentence means, what are you going to make, Kaiho-san? Although literally, orimasu means fold. To this, Kaiho-san answered in the third sentence here
私は鶴を折ります。
that he's going to make a crane.
では終わります。
The final sentence means, I'll end the class here. Today we studied the use of the ending masu to express habitual actions and also to express the future intentions of the speaker. And since we've just studied it, allow me to close today by using dewa owarimasu. Dewa owarimasu.